Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Strong and Bold. My name is Fortina, and today we are going to talk about control. So, how many, by show of hands, that we are like, we let God take control of everything? Like, we do not worry, we are not anxious, we do not plan to do things on our own, we just let God take control. How many of us? I also can't put my hands up. I am as guilty as charged. I am one of those people who will be anxiously worried about some of God's promises, but also about my life in general. Like, am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right path? Am I doing the right career? Is this where is this the place that God is calling me to? What should I do? It's taking long. I didn't expect it to be like this, and the list goes on and on and on and on. So today we are going to talk about control. We're going to talk about control generally, but also in self control, and also how do we become good people in resting and let go of control. How many of us are willing to let go of control? Your careers, your family life, your children, your parents, everything. You're like, I'm done. Let God take care of this, take control of this. I'm ready to let go. How many of us? Okay, we'll see. So from Dr. Google, the word control means the power to influence or direct people's behavior or the cause of events. The second definition is a person or thing used used as a standard of comparison for checking the results of survey or experience. So I'm going to talk about the first one, the power and influence, letting that go. Today we are going to be reading from the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 34. And it says, "Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." Yep. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble as its own. So, what do we say about letting God take over and letting go of control? For me, I feel being able to let go of things that we cannot control and some things we think we can control, it's where power lies. Controlling everything and everybody does not mean you have so much power or you have so much influence or affluence, but it means that you're a weak person. Yeah, unfortunately, sorry to say, it means we are weak. We cannot see outside the lenses of what we want and how we want things. But on a bigger picture, we should be able to let go and let other people take some parts or portion of that control. So in a family instance, like I feel that everybody has a role that they need to do. So if you have children, they might have chores. If you have, I can't tell people what to do in their families. And in terms of work, we all have responsibilities. So I feel like when we get employed, it comes with what are attributes and job description of what you need to do. However, sometimes you can be good or better, and sometimes you can increase on those attributes. Same as human beings. Like, let's say, I'll talk about in terms of relationships. Many of us like to control the outcome. They will say, if you do this, if you do that, the outcome will be here, or it will end up like this. In something that you want, the outcome will be what you desire or you prefer. And then sometimes you do every single thing that they say do for this particular outcome, and then it doesn't end up like that. So in that instance, you might feel depressed, you might feel disappointed, you might feel unworthy, vulnerable, all kind of things will go through your mind because I did everything you told me to do. I did everything that was asked of me in a marriage, in a relationship, in a family cohort, but still you didn't get the desired outcomes. So how do we deal with this? Sometimes it's like there's two paths. Path A will lead to the outcome. Part B will lead to the outcome. For instance, if desire is marriage and you're on part A, which is like you choose someone for you, maybe they don't choose you back, or maybe they marry someone else, that is one part. But also you taking your time healing and, you know, re-evaluating to where you went wrong or the kind of people you deal with, that will still lead to the desired outcome, which is could be marriage. However, for instance, sometimes it could be that because we want marriage so bad, we do not see the red flags, but also we do not see the people as they are. We are attracted to their potential. Very dangerous of this. So that will limit us to see things as they are because we just look at the desired outcome. And for instance, if it's like career, let's say there are people who say I'm a control freak, or the people who say I'm, you know, I don't want to use some of those terms, but some people say I have ODD. I have to organize things in a certain way. I have to do things in a certain way. There's nothing wrong with that. However, sometimes it's like if you keep on doing everything by yourself in the way you want it to be, when you get tired, when you get sick, when you are not able to show up the way you like to show up, who's going to take over or take even care of you? So I feel unfortunately, we are in a generation where all those skills like knitting and all those things, skills that people used to learn and they were passed from generation to generation, are disappearing because of technology, because of machines and all these things. However, you see some of those things, they had characteristics in them by themselves. So, for example, if you wanted to bake a cake back in the day, you needed to go buy wheat if you're not a wheat farmer, and you have to prepare it like, you know, the husk had to come off, you need to grind it, and then you could start baking, or you can sieve it. It will take like 10 process or 10 steps before you even start making the actual cake. So you know there's no fast forward. However, nowadays we can buy already made flour, or we can even buy cakes which are already made, or we can even buy halfly done things that we can just put in the oven and they're done as a cake. So some of these things, they make us lose patience, but also have so much to control in our zone, in our abilities, in our capabilities as human beings. However, the more we think we can control things, the more we are having mental illnesses like anxiety and all these other things like depression, because our desired outcome that we wanted is not happening in that way. So sometimes you must start feeling like you are a failure. I can't even describe how you feel if a desired outcome is not the end of the product. So sometimes in this space, we need to let go of control and learn to let others take lead in some of these things. It could be a project at work, it could be a project at home, it could be some things that you can trust someone to do, like your friends or a family member, your partner, your spouse. Like, hey, I'm struggling in this way, can you do this? Rather than us wanting to be strong, brave and capable, always putting our A game. And how about the days and the times we can't do our A game? Then we feel more bad about ourselves. So number one, how do we let go of control, is being able to trust others that they can do their best. Even if their best does not match your best, because everybody has different skills and attributes and abilities to do things. And then the other thing is being able to stepping back in our daily norms, in our everyday lives, stepping back from having so much control of every single thing. Like, for example, let children be children. They're going to make a mess. You don't have to clean every second, right? I'm not saying do not act, as again I say, I can never tell anybody how to raise their kids or how to do, but it's like, let go. Take space for your time. And the other thing is like being able to trust in God's will and sovereignty about your life. So sometimes everything can be going very well, very perfect. The things you plan, the things you want to do, they are coming into place and they are going very smooth and very, very organized, and everything is like turning out to be wonderful, marvelous. And then all of a sudden it all crashes. And then you're like, what do I do? But then in that space is when you know, like, our life does not belong to us. It belongs to our creator, our maker. And I strongly understand that some people, they're not strong on faith, and that's okay. It's not a one shoe that fits every single person. But even in your own ways of wanting to do best for you, want to do better for yourself, to be better too, how do you let go of control in your every single day life? There's some things you can't, like there's some things you cannot let other people take over, but there are those few things or little things that you can trust others to be able to take control of those things. Because sometimes this lack of letting go of control will impact our mental health, our physical health, but also will impact our interpersonal relationships with others, because people might start feeling like you don't value me as an employee, or you don't trust that I'm able to do a good job with you, with what you have given me to do, with what you have trusted me with, And these are some of those things that usually impacts the level of transparency, but also the level of honesty that people might have with each other. So for instance, if I tell you, okay, I need help with cleaning the house today, and then I go through the house, and then I'm like, and then I see something is not done the way I usually do it, I do it like that. Do you think that person is going to feel valuable as a person, as an employee, or even as a spouse, as a partner? Of course not. So we should be able to leave room for mistakes, because not every single person can do things the way we want it to be done, or we want it to be desired. We desire it to be done or completed. And I see some of that, and I am so guilty about this. For example, I might say to my son, help me in the kitchen, and he will start doing things. I'm like, no, we don't. No, we don't do this. We don't do it like that. So then how is he going to feel confident and to be comfortable around me when I ask him something, but I still make the decision that came from me? For instance, yesterday, we went to the shops and I wanted to ask to buy something for dinner, for some snacks. And then I said, which hummus should I take? This one or this one? And then he said, I think I should take this one. And then I looked at him like, think I should take this one. And then he said something. Why do you ask me when you know you're still going to go with the option you choose? And I looked at him and I said, actually, you are right. You are right. I left control in that moment and trust his ability to choose the right hummus. And that is just an example, the right dipping. That is just one example. So I ended up picking up the one that he had chosen after he said that. And those words really sat with me, and I reflected on them last night. And it's like, how many times do we ask people for options or opinions, but we still go ahead with what we desired from the bottom, from the beginning? Even if people already say, this is wrong, that is right, I don't think any of this can be an option. Let's bring a third option on the table, or a third suggestion on the table. So sometimes control is not just what we eat, how we feel, and what surrounds us, but it's also being able to release some level of that control and trust people around us, and trust within ourselves that we are making the right decision by not being on top of every single thing at the same time all the time. If you are wearing so many hats, it's really, really hard. And if you have so many peas on your plate, it's so hard to balance them all. So how do you let go of control? And I think it's one of the most powerful thing that most of us don't value at this stage, or sometimes we don't see it. But power is not what you're able to do. Power is also what you're able to release, what you're able to let go. Now that's where the hidden secret is. Power and control is the same thing. We can say is the same thing. But being able to know when and how and where to release that control is the biggest secret. So I hope this video was informative and was helpful to some extent. All I can say is that the more we lose control of ourselves, the more God does exceedingly and abundantly in our lives. And when you learn to let it go, to lose that control, you will gain so much more. You will achieve so many things. You will have wealth of information, wealth in relationships, wealth in being able to trust others. But the more you keep on holding everything down, it's really hard to balance sometimes. But also, it will release that sense of like, I need to be bold, I need to be seen in a certain way. Yes, you can be bold by being able to release some things that don't serve you, but also being able to say, I am struggling, I need help in this way, and only you, or I'm coming to you because I trust you, that you can stand up in the gap for me in this or that way. So I hope this video was helpful, and I hope this video was informative. So see you again in another episode. Like, subscribe, and share, and tell me which other topics would you like me to cover. Bye.